Now we are going into our discussion, exploring the thriving world of thrift selling. For those who don't maybe know the meaning of thrift, it's maybe, let's say, a bend down select for some people, and then guanjo for some people, like they rightly call it. Yeah, so that's what we are going to be discussing. The marketing around that industry. Yeah, thrift is the art of mindful spending and resource management, emphasizing frugality, sustainability, and finding value in second-hand or used items. It involves making wise financial decisions, avoiding wastefulness, and maximizing the utility of resources. Thrift encourages a conscious approach to consumption, promoting saving money and reducing environmental impact through reusing and repurposing goods. You're opposing good or you're proposing good. Yeah, so joining us via Zoom from Plateau State is Mupalngnyi Jibrang. She's CEO, Alchemilla's Apparel. Thank you so much, Mopal, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I have a little bit of cold.
Oh, it's fine. You're looking good, by the way.
Thank you so much, Fati.
All right. So, tell us what inspired you to go into thrift selling.
Okay, with Thrift, you have an opportunity to have a variety of fashion clothing in your closet, from branded high brands that you can normally not walk into their store to afford it, to very unique things that you cannot find anywhere on the street. Like you can't just see random people wear it. And for me, fashion is what stands you out. When you go out, you command the attention, you command all the attention, and then everybody is just staring at you. Wow, wow, wow. That is fashion for me. So I like to wear very unique things, and that inspired my treasure hunt. I call thrifting treasure hunt, actually. So that was what inspired me.
I mean, you painted a very beautiful picture, CEO Alc Clavicle,
Alka,
Camilla.
Alka Millers.
Your business name is really interesting, and people will not even guess what this is all about. But it's already a powerful name that you have, selected for your brand. But based on
Yeah.
the picture that you've painted, saying you love fashion, which is one of the things that people want. If you are starting up a business, you should be passionate. It should be something you can relate with. But then a lot of people have a bit of doubt. I mean, we've seen how people underrate or undermine, thrift clothing or items. People tend to see it as though, it's not really that unique or it's not really that deserving. What is your take on that? How have you received, that kind of reaction from people where they undermine the business that you do?
Yes, very, very, very well. The fact that it is second hand. Some people feel that, oh, somebody has worn it, and it could be somebody I don't know. What if the person is into witchcraft? You hear people say that. What if the person has some ancestral curse or just some funny kind of myths? So people tend to look down. That's just the word, look down on thrifting, because they feel that, no matter how poor, some people tell you, no matter how poor I am, I won't wear thrift clothing. But then the thing about thrifting is not every thrift clothing has been worn. When we open bills, there are times that we get brand new items with their tags. Of course, if a cloth is worn, the tag will not be on it, right? So there are things that have been cleared from stores, like clearance from the store, and have found themselves into that bills that they send out as thrifting. So not every clothes that is in the bill has been worn.
Yeah,
And then there are times that you find
just to
things
interject on
parts
that
even
one,
in their
we've
parts.
seen how celebrities, tend to recycle their clothes. Some of them get gifts from this big brand and they don't use it for the longest time. So later on, they will just decide to sell it. So if I
Yes,
align with what you're saying, situations like that also arises, right?
yes, exactly, exactly.
So, Mopal, tell us, how do you source for your, items, like, and how do you, get to pick what you think your customers will actually like, because everyone wants a quality clothing line that they can actually want to use. It depends on what, you bring into your shop. So how do you source for it? Do you travel? Do you, import them? How do you source for your materials?
Okay, been in business for, let's say, close to 10 years. I started way back 2012 while I was in the university. So being in business for that long, it's almost like I have a look for every customer in my mind. So when I go out to shop, I see you in a particular dress. So when I'm picking this dress, I'm picking it and say, oh, this will look nice on Fati. And then when I actually started buying from Lagos. Then I started exploring other markets. I've been to Kano, I've been to Ibadan. Then, of course, we have a big market in Jos, Terminus, Katako. Then I've been to other markets in Abuja too, where you find very lovely thrifts. So I just spread across. I watch a lot of videos on Instagram, and some people are gracious enough to tell us, with all these content creation, some people are gracious enough to tell you markets where you would find certain type of thrift clothing. So I follow those kind of people online. Then whenever I find myself in those towns, I make sure that I visit those markets. Then on other times, I just set out for business. I go to the market, find vendors, and that's how I create my contacts and shop my clothing.
Mopal, you just, I mean, a typical Nigerian, we just assume it's one of the most easiest job. But what you're painting looks kind of tedious. Traveling all around in order to explore your market. I mean, it just goes to show, honestly, how passionate you are about your job. But let's talk about the current, state of thrifting right now. People tend to see it as, more less conscious, kind of buying, where you know that, okay, if I don't have the money for a more luxurious product, then I should go for something affordable, which is why some people think people turn to thrifting. So right now, what is your take? Do you think it has shifted a bit into mainstream?
Yes, it has. It has a lot, because as you said, luxury items now are really for the rich, the haves. So let's say if a dress of 25K, right? A dress of 25K can afford you beautiful, good dresses, like 3 different good dresses in Thrift. So this dress you're buying for 25K that is brand new and luxury in code, you can get 3 beautiful dresses for that same amount. So which would you take? We know that prices of things have skyrocketed, right? Salaries have not increased, standard of living has changed, and a lot of things. So if you don't cut down costs, you want to wear a brand new clothes every day to work, you cannot afford to buy a dress for 25K every single week. But you can buy new clothes from Thrift, very beautiful new clothing from Thrift, and still maintain that your very beautiful lifestyle. You wear your new clothes and they are affordable and they are still good.
Okay. So, like Sumaya said, the way you paint everything, it's obvious that when you started, you were not shy, and, you had to start gradually to get to where you are. And I've gone through your social media handle, to see how well you've been doing. And I've seen the turnout of, the customers and the feedbacks that you've been getting. So what role does online platform play, in the success of, selling thrift clothing, especially online? How has
Okay, the market is now online. The market is now online. Like, for you to succeed in any business, you have to maintain a strong online presence. When I started, I didn't have a shop. I did not have a shop. I was moving with the things on my hand. That time, I didn't even know how to drive. So I was basically moving from one place to another with the things on my hand. But when I started advertising my things online, I noticed that people, well, I started, it was basically people who knew me, that knew that I am a real human being and I will not run away with their money. But over the years, as I kept building a presence online, people began to believe in the brand. They began to trust me with their money. So people from Lagos, people from Port Harcourt, I have people even outside the country that buy from me. So I think that consistency built a very strong presence for me online. And it has been amazing. I have a physical store now, but I can tell you that 80% of the things that I sell are sold online. So it's basically like I'm running a physical store, just a physical store where I keep goods. But 80% of my items are sold online. So the market is online. Online has been amazing. Social media has been amazing.
It's a good opportunity,
Indeed.
for Nigerian youths. That's the social media for those who are taking it seriously. Anyways, but there's this thing that I want to learn from thrift shoppers. When it comes to thrift shopping, you're buying in bill, right? So it's huge, and it all boils down to you have to calculate your transport money, the way bill, and all of that. So how are you able to? What is your secret when it comes to putting prices on these things? And also, how are you able to spot a high quality? Because you made mention earlier that sometimes there are high quality product that could be found in that bill. So how are you able to spot the high quality and to determine this is how it should go in order for you to recover your money? It's really a complicated situation when it comes to business. So, of course, I would want to hear from you.
Okay, so first, what we do is there's what we call signing of bill, right? So let me use gin for instance. There's a 55 kg of London UK gin. That's a 55 kg, and in that bill, you don't get more than 100 pieces of 100 pairs of gin in that bill. So there's what Hausa people call kaida. That's like the I don't know how to put it in English well, but it's like the grade, yes, the grade of that gene. So once they open that gene for you, right, you have to pick up to 50 pieces. So this first 50 that is taken out of this bill is considered the first grade.
Okay,
So that's the first grade of the bill. So any number you pick outside that 50, the price goes down. So let me say, for instance, I open a bill of gin and every pair is 3,200 naira, right? And I pick 50 pieces. The first 50, after that first 50 pieces, I can negotiate as low as 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, because the remaining is considered the second grade of the bill. So for my costing, I already have an expense list of running my shop, which include my shop rent, the salaries that I pay, the repairs. For the things in my shop, I launder them. I don't wash them, but we take them to the laundry and they do some steaming and cleansing so that when you buy them, you can even wear it from the shop. So we don't take them the way they are rumpled from the market and dump them in the shop. No, we take them and we launder them. So every cost that we incur in the process of getting a good to be on our shelf, we calculate them and we divide them. Then we have a minimum quantity to sell every month. So when we divide that by our minimum quantity, we now spread that cost, that expense cost, across the price of the goods. And that's how we arrive at our pricing. That's how we get to cost a particular item. And then sometimes when we sort those bills, you realize that some things.
Okay, so Mopal, let me ask this question. with economic hardship, a lot of people want to venture into different businesses at this point. Would like you to tell us, how did you start? How much did you start with, and and how that has turned out for you? Because there are a lot of people that want to start businesses and they feel the money they have is too small to kickstart some, businesses. So, in your own experience, what would you say they can do, to learn from your own experience at this point?
Well, I didn't start with more than 50,000 naira, but I think Thrift business is one business that you can start with no capital. And how do I mean? I have a shop, right? If you're interested in this business, all you can do is come to me, we negotiate and we agree. Okay, I have these things in bulk. I can give you at this particular rate. All you need to do is take pictures of this thing, advertise to your own people, and when they pay you, you come to my shop and you pick, you pay me what is mine, and you go with what is yours. As simple as that. So I don't think that there are a lot of businesses now that you really don't need money. You just drop ship. When you drop ship those items, you get your cut, the seller gets their code, and the customer receives their item. As simple as that. So you really do not need any capital. But thrift business is the business that you can do for as low as 10,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. You can do it. Just study your environment. What are the class of people around your environment? Do you have students? If it's students might necessarily not afford very expensive things. So you can go for those second grade that are still very presentable. Then you sell them at very minimal rate. You still make your profit and you still sell to your customers. Then you keep building and building, and that's how and you build a castle.
I mean, at this point, I want to see your castle, with the building and building going
Yeah,
on.
certainly.
But with all of these things you've said, yes, it's looking like, selling rather is a really time-consuming job. So how are you able to balance the pressure from the hunt of you going to maybe Ibadan and other places around, and then still have the energy and efficiency to deliver on the business on a daily basis?
As you said, it is passion that drives you to do anything. It is passion that this was birthed out of passion, right? So it's more like it's life to me. Shopping it's a life therapy to me. It's something that I can do even at my lowest. Even when I'm sick and hospitalized, you see me making calls, sending messages, trying to seal deals and all. It is just pure passion. And of course, since it pays my bill, why should I slack? That's the basic. I hardly would go completely broke, because you know how it is now. Maybe a customer buys stuff for 10,000 and pays you 5,000 naira. That very morning that you wake up very broke, you just see that customer reminds you and pay you your remaining 5,000 naira. So with thrift business, you can hardly ever go completely broke. You always have money coming in and out and in and out from somewhere.
But
So I
will
just
that affect
love
your
doing
margin?
it, and it's not any big deal.
Okay. So, over time, there's this perception about thrift, earlier when it started, people didn't really want to buy it, but now people are actually, going with the trends. What are the common challenges, that thrift sellers face, and how do you overcome them?
Well, the major challenge that I face is getting consistent supply. Like, I've not been able to travel in a while due to health challenge. So I've been trying to explore other means. And honestly, I have lost a lot of money from last year through early this year, because I had to ask myself, if I don't get to ever travel again, does it mean that my business will close? So I started reaching out to other online vendors so that I can buy from them. But it has not been a funny one. It is the issue of what you ordered versus what you get. So it has been a great loss. But then it has not stopped me. They are legit people. I tell people just the way that I am legit. I know there's someone there who has a conscience and who is honest. And except I take the risks that takes me to that person, I may never get to that point. So I just try to reduce. Well, of course, I will not continue losing money, but I would do it with wisdom and with a lot of calculations. So I am reaching out to other people in the thrift industry and see if I can collaborate with them and get supplies from them, since I don't have a direct contact now that can supply me goods. So basically the challenge is getting, like for just now, you can get a good bill today, but tomorrow when you get to call your supplier, he tells you that he's expecting goods. So you wait and wait and wait, and you know how business money is. It doesn't want it to be kept one place. It is as you get, you reinvest. The more it comes, you just you turn it over into the business. So getting frequent supply is a challenge for me in Jos at the moment.
Apart from different suppliers, you made mention, you pointed out something about, sometimes you could order and then you get something entirely from the bill. I mean, last week or last 2 weeks, we saw a video on social media making round of someone literally crying in front of her own bill, saying what she wanted was, the long full abaya, but then the sizes she got was small. So that has really crushed her, and she was crying and saying, please just help me, buy for your kids for some reason, let me just recover the money. So in situations like that, have you ever, faced something like that? And how did you, get through that particular challenge?
So I bought, there are this class of people in the market that go for the second-hand clothing, like the second grade of the second-hand, right? They take it to the villages to sell. So I have bought bodysuits from an online vendor, and what she sent to me were racks. Those things were completely racks, like things that you cannot even wear to stay at home with. But then when I discussed with somebody in the market, he told me that all those village people have a way of refurbishing those kind of things. Well, to me, it looked like rack. Then he now said that those guys could refurbish those things and take it to the village market and still sell and make their money. So when I spoke to him, he got me somebody who came and inspected the things, bought the things off me and went away. But of course, that was a loss because I could not make the amount I bought the clothes from her talk more of profit. So it was a complete loss. But then I got some money to buy some.
But something else. Yeah, we seem to have network, and honestly, I'm even grateful that
back.
we were able to, get
I think she's back. I actually saw her moving. So
yeah, I mean, she dissected everything, and the challenges. That was what I wanted to know.
I have this curious question I wanted to ask her, because there's this technique and strategy that they put into their business, that attracts customers. I would have really loved to know how.
I mean, does she even need to look at her face? She seemed to have a vast knowledge of what she does, and I'm sure it was based on.
She started 10 years ago. What do you expect? And she was determined. When she started, she didn't give up. She wasn't shy to say, oh, I'm not going to start selling. And you can hear that she started as low as 50,000. So reason why I asked that question is because for people to know that you can actually start a business with the minimum amount that you have.
Yeah, she made mention of 10,000.
10,000, because there are some thrifts that you can actually select for 500, 700, 600. It depends on what you're actually buying.
And it's so amazing while, having her right now, Fatima. A lot of young people are going into thrift selling these days, and it's really amazing.
And just look at how she has pictured, painted everything. When she buys them, she takes them to the laundry. They steam
Exactly.
this, so it will turn out to be as brand new as it's supposed to be. So you won't even believe that they are thrifts actually. So yeah, thank you so much, Mupal, for joining us, even though we lost you due to some network issues. I'm sure if you can hear us, we want to say thank you for joining us on the program.
Of course, for dissecting the situation and giving out challenges, how you can maneuver
Overcome.
and conquer it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we all know that every business comes with its own, tedious challenge. So if situations like that happen, what do you do? So thank you for asking, for answering that. Sometimes there might be loss, but definitely you're not going to lost it all entirely. Yes, because that lady I saw on social media, I don't know if you saw that video, broke my heart, Fatima, of that lady crying out with her own full bill, saying she got, instead of an adult abayas, she got kids abayas, and it's actually messed up her plans.
So she couldn't sell them?
Yes, because her customers already are people that want bigger buyers, so she couldn't sell them. So instead she just made a video, put a video out there, and then decided to, she was crying, explaining exactly what happened and begging Nigerians to just help her recover her money at least. So a lot of people reached out from the comment section, and I'm sure she was able to at least sell them out, because children are not really things that people are really often buying.
Maybe there was a mistake,
So
when after she selected, and then maybe they shifted the wrong package to her, and then shifted hers to someone, because this kind of mistakes actually tends to happen. It
tends to happen, and people get excited and they don't return what the initial.
It depends on what they have gotten.
But then also, just like Mopal mentioned, that sometimes it's not her, that she doesn't have direct contact. So somebody, the small businesses are shifting to somebody that is important. And then the somebody important might now bring something that is not really exactly what they want. I've seen situations where people would buy, they want to buy a buyer fully covered, but then it would come as after dress. So situations like that tend to happen. And it's always good to know there is a way to pass.
Yeah, it's good to see that she started small and now she's big. She now owns a shop.
Yes.
And she has contact with networking, with even people outside the country, and she's making money. Even though yes, losses will still come because it's business, but then if you're determined, definitely with consistency, you're going to make it one way or the other. It doesn't really matter what people would say. Just start your business and see what happens. With this economic hardship, we really need that at this point.
Of course.
So yeah.
And with that, of course, we have come to the end of Daybreak Extra. We hope that, of course, you took everything that was said and then you definitely sieve it and pick the one that works for you. Yes, please do stick around. Top of the hour, 360 Sport would be here by Adeni Ajishafe. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do have a lovely weekend.
And I'm Fatima Ahmed Musa. In case you missed any of these discussions we had today, just catch us across our social media handles.